Today, we're talking about the double cut method, which is my all-time favorite way of starting seeds. Now, I really like this method because it creates a miniature greenhouse for your plants, and also, unlike traditional methods which water from the top down, this one waters from the bottom up, which creates a much stronger root system for your plants. So anyways, let's get started. So what you'll need to start your seeds is some plastic wrap, something to put holes in the bottom of the cup. So I'm using a drill. You can also use like a knife or a soldering iron. Basically any way to get holes into the bottom of the cup here. You'll need some cups. These are just little red Solo cups, pretty cheap, pretty easy. You can reuse these year after year. Now you're also going to need a little bit of water to help mix up into the soil. You want a bowl with something to stir. Of course you're going to need some soil, and you'll want some of your favorite seeds. So to get started, we're first going to take half of our cups. You need 2 cups per plant. So take half of your cups, I'm using 2, and we're going to take our drill or knife or whatever, and we're going to put a couple of holes into the bottom. Now, plastic cups like this crack pretty easily, so just be real careful while you're doing it. So I put 5 little holes. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I put 5 little holes in the bottom of the cup. That should be perfect. I'm going to do this other cup right now, and we'll be right back. So now that you have holes in all of your cups, go ahead and set these aside, and we're going to mix up some of our soil. So go ahead and pour a little bit of soil into a bowl, and we're going to rehydrate it. I find that rehydrating soil really helps it, so you can put your seeds in it and they're not going to get all washed away, and it'll help soak up new water pretty well. So pour a little bit of water into the soil. Don't have to pour a ton. And we're just going to go ahead and mix this all together. That seems like it's mixed pretty well. So we're going to go ahead and take our cups again and grab your cups that have the holes in the bottom of them. Now we're going to fill these pretty much all the way up to the top with soil. Make sure when you're filling these, you want to tap it down a little bit, but make sure you're not really compacting it. You just want to tap it down to get any big air spots out of it. So now that all of our cups are all full of soil, we're going to go ahead and plant our seeds. So grab your bag, and what we're going to do is just take your finger and make a little hole right in the center, maybe just a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch deep. It doesn't have to be very deep at all. Just with your finger right there. All right, so now go ahead and grab your seeds. Now I like to put 2 seeds in each hole. That way it kind of guarantees that something will pop up. But this method is really good at germinating seeds. So if you only put 1 seed in there, you'll probably be just fine. Now, after you have your seeds in the holes, just go ahead and lightly cover it with soil. Again, you don't want to compact it. So just lightly cover it and tap just a little bit just to make sure you get all that air out of that hole. Same with that one. Now you're almost done. Now all you have to do now is put these in your cups, just like that. And then put a little bit of plastic wrap over the top of them. This plastic wrap will act kind of like a greenhouse, so it'll make it nice and warm and humid inside of these cups, which will be the perfect area for the seeds to germinate. So just take our plastic wrap, put it over, just like that. Now you don't have to worry too much about it being airtight or not airtight. As long as that plastic's over it, it'll keep a pretty good humid and warm environment. Now with the plastic wrap over the top, this is going to be a really low maintenance germinating solution. So you're not going to have to water these nearly as often as something that you have just open to the air. But that being said, you do still have to water them on occasion. So let's go do that. So normally, since I just planted these, and when we did, we mixed the soil with water, I normally wouldn't be watering them just yet. But for the sake of this video, I really want to show you guys how to water these. So I mentioned in the beginning of this video that the double cut method waters the plants from the bottom up, which that basically means instead of pouring water in the top, we're pouring water basically from the bottom, and it's going to soak all of the roots, which that's going to result in a much stronger root system because the water gets all the way down to the bottom. So to do it, all you're going to do is take the cups out from each other, and we're going to fill this bottom cup probably about 1/3 of the way with water. And then you're just going to take this cup and gently lower it in. and it'll float there for just a second. And we're going to give that probably a minute or two, and it's going to sink down like you saw there. And then we'll let that sit for a minute, and that's going to allow the water to soak all the way up through this cup. So if your soil was dry when you started this, after about a minute or two, you should notice that this top layer of soil is starting to get a lot more wet again. But basically now that it's been about a minute, we're going to lift this up and see all that water is draining out. You're going to dump the bottom cup out and then just hold this over the sink for a minute or so. This water will slowly stop, and once this stops, or at least slows down quite a bit, go ahead and put it back in the other cup. So that right there looks pretty good. It's dripping pretty slow now. So we're going to go ahead and put it back in the bottom cup. And we're going to go ahead and put our plastic wrap back on. And now we're going to go ahead and put this in a sunny windowsill and come back again and water it once it looks dry again. So that's pretty much going to wrap up this video. The only thing I have left to say is that once your seeds start sprouting and poking up above the soil, you can go ahead and take off this plastic wrap to give them some good airflow. And you can keep these in here until you're ready to put them into a bigger container. Now, if you guys like this video, definitely let me know in the comments what kind of plants you guys are growing this year. Also, please send this video to another gardener that you think could really benefit watching it. Anyways, I hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you next time.